said trading can't be fun. This week has been incredible. It's been fun. It's been funny. You can say it's been more entertaining than watching the Lakers beating the Miami to become the NBA champion for 2020 and watching Conor McGregor getting beat up by Dustin Poirier. So I'm sure all of you have been affected in some ways. You know, in the US, in the States, it's Robinhood app. If you're in the UK, in Europe, it's Trading 212, it's Etoro, Interactive Brokers, Free Trade, the list goes on, right? And I know some of you are frustrated and angry, and don't get me wrong, I was fuming, right? Over 2 hours, you couldn't get onto the app. Bearing in mind, the market is still live. You know, the prices are still live, it's running, and institutions still have access to these securities, whereas you and I have been locked out. So either you have lost a lot of money or you've gained a lot. Either way, it's not good. And I've tried to, raise a point, as some of you have seen on Etoro, and that got flagged as spam and got deleted. Well, I'll let you guys decide whether that is a spam or facts that I'm just pointing out on the platform, right? So, to say the least, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm sure this will go down in the history books. And they'll probably make a movie out of this, and that is my biggest prediction. So you can hold me to that. It'll be like watching the Kevin Hart trying to fight The Rock. I leave that to your imagination. I'm sure that'll be damn sure funny to watch as well. Now, we are the next generations of traders and investors, right? I try to make these videos as entertaining as possible, as we know looking at data, research and finance can be boring. And in this video, rather than me talking about GameStop and explaining what is shorting or short selling, and I'm sure some of you already know the situation, and you've got news anchor explaining to the public what is short selling. And in this video, rather than doing that, I just want to cover what is GameStop effects. That's what I call it. And also I'll be covering Zingy Solar Holdings, and that is a solar stock which is, I don't think a lot of people have paid attention to, and whereas the green and solar policy is going to be big in the next 5 years. And just a disclaimer, as always, this is not a financial advice, and I am retarded and I'm the dumbest in the class. You should probably skip this video anyway, but if you are still here, let's get it. Welcome back, guys. As always, thank you for the support that you have shown so far, and go check out the other videos that I've made. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, because that will really support the channel and for me to do more content for you as well. And what we'll be covering today, I'll go over first, which is the GameStop and the GameStop effect on the markets, and then I'll cover Zingy Solar stock. And with the current market right now is highly volatile, as we saw even with just one tweet from Elon, not even tweet, he changed his status to Bitcoin, and that made the Bitcoin jumped, and that's how volatile the market is, and investors are getting worried, right? And GameStop have massive effect on the other stocks on the market, okay? And how that works is that as people are buying game stocks and you are squeezing the hedge fund correctly and you're doing the right thing, that's exactly what you're doing. And what hedge fund do, in order to cover their losses, they will have to liquidate or sell their other equities. And what happens is once they sell their other equities, the price will start to drop on other stocks. And as you can see, on Friday, we did have a slight pullback from, the week before where it was all-time high. And this week we have pullback on pretty much all the stocks I've been tracking. And I see this continuous pullback for the next few days and could potentially last weeks. And so therefore we have to be a little bit more aware and conscious of the stocks that we have in our portfolio. With game stocks, there are much more repercussions and also snowball effects along the way, as we saw with BlackBerry and Nokia. And as people start to buy Nokia and BlackBerry, the other stocks will drop, as we already saw with the shift of assets, other people's funds from other stocks towards these. And we can see also that ETFs across, Europe also have been affected. Some funds have some shape or form of game stocks and also AMC, all these stocks that I've mentioned on the news. And if you're thinking that your ETF are, the safest bet for the next 5 years run, the safest stocks you can ever get, you might want to just double check and look at your ETF funds and just reassess your portfolio. Now, it's been all fun and games, but there will always be winners and losers. It's like when you're sitting at a poker game. If you don't have the nerves, you shouldn't be on the table in the first place. So in the next few days and weeks, we might see a bit more pullback to come as well. And there's a few things that you can do to sort of put yourself in a better position and make sure that your funds and your portfolios are protected. And first thing you can do is reevaluate your portfolios and see what you have on there and reassess whether they need to be there or not. And second of all is don't panic and sell, because depending on the stocks you have, they will still pay dividends. If you have a good company that also gives out good dividends, you will still receive your dividend regardless whether there's pullback or not. Okay? And the third thing you can do is make sure that you have some reserve so that when that pullback happens, you can be in a better position to open a new position on a stocks that you want. So let's move on to Zingy Solar stocks. So since our last video where we had 226 followers and 3 copiers investors, and now we have grown to 276 and 3 more copiers investors in the portfolio. So I thank you for your trust and trusting the strategies that I have in place. And again, I'm doing my best to make sure our funds are protected. And with Zingy Solar stocks. So I'll start with Biden and his green policy, and also China green policy, and also the UN climate change. I think these are all positive momentum that can drive well, not only Xinyi Solar stock, but also the solar whole industry. And I think this stock is in a good position that can explode in comparison to other stocks. So I have checked out other solar companies stocks. You have Canadian Solar, which on Friday closing price was 54.75, which their market cap was just over 3 billion. You have Solar Edge Technology, which they are 288 right now, and the market cap is just over 14 billion. And then you have First Solar, which they are $99, and they are just over 10 million market cap. And then you have Zingy Solar Holdings, which priced at $17, and the market cap is 149 billion, right? In comparison to the couple of ones that I've mentioned, this company, Zingy Solar Holdings, have one of the biggest market cap compared to them, and also other solar companies as well. And if you are looking at just on the price alone, I mean, it's $17 in comparison to the rest, the highest, to $288 for a share. And that's a massive difference. And the company itself, they have a few subsidiaries making glass, and they have a number of patents, and they are still innovating in their technology, making their solar glass better. And what I really like about this company is that they make solar glass. Imagine your house use glass, and they can generate energy, and that is very innovative, and I think they do a very good job at it.
Xinyi Glass established 9 domestic production plants to enhance our global strategic layout. Xinyi Glass established an overseas production plant in Malacca, Malaysia, completing the business coverage in ASEAN. Xinyi Glass actively promotes the globalization of business. Worldwide sales network and branches are making Xinyi Glass a Chinese brand with global influence.
This is their corporate video. If you want to watch the full clip, you can find it on YouTube. But I just want to show you guys some of the solar glass they make, which if you want to know more, I'm sure you can go onto their website to find more details. But one thing I do want to say is the Zingy Solar Holding, their ticker is 0968.HK, and that's in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. They also have another ticker symbol, which is XNYIF, and that is on the OTC market, which that one is just over $2 too for the price. And if I'm honest, I'm not too sure what is the difference. So if you guys have found anything or know anything about this, please let me know. Leave the comments down below, because I can't see the difference really, because although one is in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, one which is in OTC, but what is the difference? Because I presume it's the same company. So let me know. And in terms of Biden green policy, where you have a lot of American and Canadian solar companies that are doing a very good job in supporting the solar transition to support even residential or industrial company, making them more efficient. I think that they still wouldn't have the capacity as with these Chinese companies, their capacity of productions, and where I think if positioned right in the market, Xinyi can also support the American in terms of their transition to a greener economy, and that itself can also support the company in terms of their sales, and they can do very well in that. And also, if we look at the China green policy that they have, being zero emission carbon footprint, Zingy Solar have a number of factories operation all across China, and they are positioned in a way that for industrial, if the building a new buildings that need to be built, they can ramp up their production very quickly to meet the demand. And they also have a operation in Malaga in Malaysia, where really they can support the whole Asia Pacific wherever there are demands, which is fantastic to see because they can keep up with their productions. And also with United Nations, with their climate change, it only just propelled this company forward in the next 5 years to 2025. So I don't think there's much holding this company back. A lot of people are buying American and Canadian solar companies, which they do a fantastic job, but I think not a lot of people are looking into this. And if we can see that their earning per share growth forecast from now to 2023, they're going up. And if we look at their balance sheets, it is pretty good. They are making profits, they are making revenue, although they do have high level of debt. That is something that it's not a surprise because they use a lot of cash reserved for R&D, just for innovation, because it is still you could say relatively new industry. So you would expect the company to invest more in their research into their product and to get their product to a better efficiency and effective in what they do. So let's look at the stock. So the stock currently right now, it's $17, and here we have a fair value of $21.44. So they are undervalued right now, but as I said, the market right now is highly volatile. So as we can see that in 2013 it was $1.42, and right now it's $17, and it has reached its high on the 8th of Jan for $22. As I said, we are currently right now experiencing a pullback, and that's not just on the stock. We can see that on majority of the Asian stocks as well. And so we're more likely to see more pullback in the next coming days also. And if you can see on the chart, massive coming down from the 8th of Jan, and we can see that it will likely to reach the point of $15 or below that. We can see there's a nice and good level of support and also resistance there. So and also I've put in the moving average, so it is coming down drastically and pretty fast. And I assume again that is also the effects coming from the GameStop effect, put into the European and also Asian stocks as well. But what that means is that there's also opportunity, because solar will be the next big thing in the next 5 years. So this is a fantastic opportunity if you are looking to add additional solar company into your portfolio, I think this would be a great addition. So maybe in the next coming days or week, this will reach the ideal point of entry. Will be a very good position to get in. So where does that leave us in the future? So as some of you know, on my public portfolio on Etoro, I'm actually in the process of transferring my funds from the US equity and into more of the Asia stocks. And that is just because that's, I think, is the right thing to do for the portfolio and also the exposure that it has. And also for Hong Kong is slightly safer, if you will, because of the fact that they have shorter trading hours. So that means that it's less volatile. And also Asian stocks are, I believe, are highly undervalued in comparison to the US equity side, because a lot of the companies are overvalued or even overbought, hence why they have the high valuations. And so Asian stocks, and although the growth are drastically slower, much slower, and also Asian companies, Chinese companies are doing very, very well in what they do in their technology. And we can see that from the trade war from the States towards China, because America are scared of China and of their technologies. And these companies, not only they continue to innovate, but they're doing very well at innovating new products. And so I will be focusing, my part of my research will be covering Chinese companies and try to find those that will be the next big thing in the next 5 years. And I think they can do that, and they do have the resource and capacity to do that as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, guys. Really do appreciate your support. Feel free to share this video and leave your comments down below, and also share your view on the stocks. And I think this has great prospects in the future. And again, disclaimer, I am retarded and I am the dumbest in the class. You probably shouldn't watch this, but if you are still here, I will see you in the next video.